Hi guys! Welcome back to another video, and today is going to be quite a personal video, so I'm going to be chatting about myself. You're welcome. So today I really wanted to talk Today I really want, oh my god. I wanted to talk a bit more about Wicca and my personal religion of Wicca and what I practice and how it has affected me, because I'm coming up to 1 year officially as Wiccan, sorry, and I wanted to kind of review how I've changed in that 1 year and how it's impacted me, because it has impacted me quite a lot. So I wanted to chat about that. So this is obviously my personal opinion, my personal practices and religion and how it has affected me. It is no means a whole, thing for all Wiccans. It's different for everybody, so yeah, don't at me, as the children now say. So I'm gonna start at the beginning. So I have been interested in Wicca for a long time. So when I was a child, my auntie was pagan, and so I was kind of introduced to paganism and Wicca very young. And it was something that I really started to read a lot into, and I was always interested in crystals and how they could affect you, and kind of the whole metaphysical world around that as well. And yeah, I really started to get into it, especially when I was a teenager, and then kind of was struggling with friendships and feeling like an outsider anyway, and I didn't really want to add an extra string to my outsider bow, so I kind of put it away. But it was something I was always very interested in, especially because the 90s were filled with witches, like The Craft, Sabrina, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Charmed, Practical Magic. Witches were everywhere, but on TV and not in real life. So when people would meet me and I'd be like, oh, I'm really interested in like Wicca and witchcraft, people would be like, okay. As a child, I was very sensitive, so I didn't want that in my life. So it wasn't until years and years later, fast forward to 2018, that I discovered Harmony Nice. Very big fan of Harmony Nice, love that girl, and her book called Wicca, and I started reading it. I'd read a few Scott Cunningham books before, but I always found them very hard to relate to, and I couldn't really see myself and like my own personal beliefs and opinions in what he was saying, and so I found it very difficult. And I kind of thought, once I'd read those books, I was kind of like, oh, maybe it's not for me then, like maybe this is not what I thought it was. And it wasn't until I read Harmony's book Wicca, which I'll post a link to it in the description below, because it is really good. And yeah, I kind of read this book and I was like, this is what I imagined in my head, that this is like my opinion. So I could see myself in how she kind of represented Wicca, and the flexibility of it was something that I'd heard about, but all the books that I'd read didn't really reflect that flexibility and uniqueness of practicing in religion. And Harmony really like opened that up to me and made me realise that I could be Wiccan and celebrate it in my own personal way and have it benefit me in my own unique personal way. And so I became Wiccan, and I did a ritual, kind of like a self-dedication ritual, but not really, on Samhain last year, so Halloween last year. And since then I have dedicated a lot of time and energy on learning more about Wicca and different types of practices, so tarot cards and divination and pendulums and stuff like that, and crystals, and really just investigating that side of self-care, really, because that's the one thing that Wicca gives me, is the ability to really focus on my self-care, my well-being, and to be more mindful as well, and to practice gratitude more is something that I've really got from it. So the main thing for me that I really noticed, especially when I started traveling, is I really benefit from having a sacred space. So having an altar, or just somewhere that is set up that I can sit at and really meditate and just relax and have that space to myself. Whilst I was traveling, obviously I was surrounded by people, I was in hostels, so I'd never had time alone. It was just me and like 6 other people in a room. And I found it really hard to not have any time alone and not be able to kind of practice my own rituals and meditation and stuff. I had my tarot cards, and I remember I was like doing myself a reading on one of my bunk beds when I was in Queenstown, and people were like coming in and out of the room, like checking in and checking out, and they were just like looking at me being like, this is not a room I want to be part of. Like I was gonna curse them or something in their sleep. And so I felt really uncomfortable because I was like, my religion, my practices that I'm doing and things that make me feel good are making other people feel uncomfortable, and then that was having a negative effect on me, and I was like, well, this isn't gonna work. And so I really started to crave kind of more stability and a place that I could be myself and like be more at ease about what I was doing and not be judged about doing tarot readings on my bed. So having the sacred space and having the altar and ritual space is something that I've found really resonates with me and really helps me to feel calm, and especially because I have really bad anxiety and I have depression, and having that space where I can go and just feel like is very important to me. So that's something that Wicca has really given me. So a lot of the things that I've got from Wicca is something that I could have got like on my own. I didn't need Wicca to get these things, but it helped me create a routine and focus into getting these things. And so it was really a route to me finding a good self-care routine and a good way of looking after my well-being. Another thing that it has helped me with is meditation. So meditation is a big part of Wicca and kind of ritual practices, and really being in touch with yourself and your intuition and your mindset. And so it has really helped me to create this meditation schedule, I guess, and a routine that really works for me. So when I first started with Wicca and different Wiccan rituals, I had done meditation before, but I had done it kind of on a whim and being like, I should meditate, so I'm gonna like sit here and be like, but then I never really got anything out of it. I never managed to keep it up consistently. I tried everything. I tried Calm, the app, which I still use now, but at the time I was trying to use it like every day, and then I was just like, oh my god, I'm so bored. And then I tried Headspace, like I tried a whole load of different things to try and get me a meditation routine, and just nothing would work. But then when I started doing meditation for my religious practices, I found it so much easier because I had a different perspective on it. So I had a different reason to meditate. I wasn't meditating for the sake of meditating, basically. So it gave me a reason to meditate. So I was always trying to solve a problem, or understand my emotions or my thoughts, or manifest something. And so having that kind of goal before meditation and a reason to meditate has really helped me build this routine. And so since I started practicing Wicca last year, I now meditate every day, and it doesn't feel like a task. It just feels like an hour before I go to sleep, I switch off my laptop or my phone, I put my phone down or whatever, and I spend like 10 to 30 minutes meditating before I go to sleep. And I light some candles, I burn some sage if I want to, or some incense or something, and I make it like an actual ritual, like an actual practice. And that really helps to keep my interest because I have a very short attention span, and also just give me a bit more focus and intention from my meditations. So that has been one of the best things that I have noticed since becoming Wiccan, and it is something that I really needed to do because meditation was always going to be something that helped me manage my mental health, but it was always something I struggled with. And so it really did help to have a reason to do it and to like build a routine. And now I'm like not meditating for the sake of meditating. I can kind of appreciate the benefits a bit more, because I'm thinking about kind of what I want to achieve by meditating, and then that gives me something to look out for, if that makes sense. And then the last few things is just having more respect and gratitude, not just for the natural world, which is really what Wicca is all based around, but other people, and understanding how other people think and how other people feel, because empathy was always something that was very difficult for me, like a lot of people with depression. Having empathy for others is always something that is hard, because you're so in like a little bubble of depression that you find it difficult to see when other people are hurting. And so empathy was really difficult for me, compassion was really difficult for me. And then as soon as I started kind of gaining more respect for the natural world and for other people, and for being grateful about what I have every day and what the world gives me, really, really made a big difference about not just how I see myself, but also how I treat other people. I mean, my antidepressants help with that as well, but you know. So I really do think it's made me a better person, I would say, for other people and also for myself. I feel a lot better. I react to situations a lot differently. I think a lot more about, you know, the positive side about things, about the silver lining of things, more so than I did previously. I'm still a very pessimistic person, like that's never going to change. I'm always going to be that way. But I have a lot more optimism than I used to, and a lot more mindfulness than I used to. So, yeah. And also getting outside in nature and being outdoors is something that always really helped with my mental state, but I was always just too lazy to do it, or too depressed to do it. So when you know getting outside is going to help you with your depression, but you're too depressed to leave your bed, it was kind of like that. And since becoming Wiccan, since it's very nature-based, it's very reliant on the natural world and understanding the natural world and being grateful for it, it means that a lot of time I want to be outside because I want to be in nature. And so it's increased that going outdoors kind of aspect of things, which has in turn made me feel a lot better. So yeah, that is pretty much how Wicca has helped me with my mental health and changed me as a person, and that is just in 1 year. So I'm excited about another year of Wicca, and seeing kind of what else changes in that time. But I think consistently learning and really being open-minded about different areas, and not being like, oh, that's too woo-woo for me. Try it. Who knows what's gonna happen? Like, is it gonna hurt you? Probably not. Are you gonna be in some cool situations where it would make great anecdotes? Probably. So you have nothing to lose. And that's kind of the perspective I'm taking on things. But yeah, I'm very grateful for Harmony's book Wicca, because that was really the turning point for me. And yeah, it has had a huge impact on me as a human and how I treat other humans and living things. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and if you have any requests for any future videos, or if you want to know anything else, then you can message me. Go right ahead, email me, DM me on social media, do whatever you like. Don't do whatever you like. You know, I don't want any dodgy pictures, but, you know, to a degree. So that's it. I hope you all have a lovely day or lovely evening, whatever time of day you are watching this, and I wish you all the best. See you in the next video. Bye!